Alrighty, so let's look at the next one. This one's by Derrick Davila. Alrighty, so okay. The neck posture is a little weird, but it's like he's doing this. So I would possibly straighten that out a little bit more, and that way he doesn't seem like he's got such a hunchback. Really good presence on the sculpt. The back is better than the front. But yeah, I like the style of the character, but we need to fix a bunch of things now. Okay. First off, what is it with y'all? What is it with y'all? What is it with y'all that you like switching between subtools to sculpt one piece of one body? What is it? Please someone explain this to me. Please someone explain this to me. I do not get it. I do not get it. Okay? I don't get it. What are you doing? What are you separating all this for? Now you're not going to be able to get the blend here. And your shoulder is always going to be wrong because you keep sculpting it in a circle. All right? So I don't want to see any more separation. Okay? I want to see the head with the body, with the arms, with the legs, all of it together. Because you're always going to have these problems here where you're not able to connect your muscles correctly. All right? And I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any excuses. Just listen, okay? Just listen. Look at all this. Look at all these pieces for one body. Come on, guy. Come on, guy. See, now I gotta do all this. So now, you see what I'm saying? Now I gotta do all this, and you just lost like 5 minutes of lecture time. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna go with 350. All right, so I think that's good now. We can probably go down a little bit more. Let's go 256. No, I'm not gonna accept that. I'm not gonna accept that excuse. I'm not gonna accept that excuse. Not going to accept that excuse. I don't ever want to see this again. Ever. In the dojo. You send something to me, it better be in one damn piece. That body better be in one damn piece. The head better be attached to the neck, better be attached to the body, better be attached to the arms. So angry right now. So angry. Okay, I'm over it. I'm over it. Okay. So, all right. So let's talk about all this. Okay, the back is done pretty nice. The only thing is that you have a very sharp shelf here, right? So if we take a look at this, it's a very, very sharp shelf. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to bring this down. So your lat is ending here. You want to bring it all the way down, right? So I usually use this brush not because I think it's clean or anything or it looks cool, but it just shows you kind of where I'm going with it, right? So we want to insert it into the posterior iliac spine. Okay. At the end, this is your acromion process right here. Okay, so you can feel that. All right. It's a little flat part right above your shoulder. And then we're gonna follow that. We're gonna go back this way. We're gonna go down. And then we can imagine that it's going back up like that, okay? So first thing I want to do is I want to flatten this out, because your scapula is flat in terms of overall block out. Okay. And again, this is I know I've said this before, but our job as, you know, character sculptors is to mix hard surface elements of the body with organic parts, and that's what's going to give you visual interest, right? If everything's noodle and everything's round, then that's not as exciting as something round next to something square, right? So we just need to be able to have a command of that. So we flatten this out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this shoulder over. Okay. Right there. And then we're going to have the aponeurosis, which is just a sheet of, you know, like silver skin, tendon, all that stuff. Okay. The lateral head is going to attach right here at the clavicle. That's the reason I say don't separate your arms from your body, because they're connected, right? Sculpturally and actually. Actually, they are. Okay. And so what we want to do is get this head here. We want to bring it down a little bit more, because this lateral head should be reaching all the way down to halfway down the humerus. Okay. Next, we want to bring this pectoralis over. Okay. All right. Then we're going to have the clavicular head, which is this one, right? Which is attaching to the clavicle, clavicular, clavicle. Next, we're going to have the sternal. And so yours is really, really close together. You can see there's no space here. So I would give it a little bit more space. And then depending on how muscular you want him, the more muscular you want him, the less of the clavicle we'll see on the clavicular head of the pectoralis. Okay. Next, we're going to have the sternal right here, going back up. And then we want this to sit underneath our clavicular head. Okay. And then we're going to have our sternal head, which is going to attach to the fifth rib. Okay. And they all layer on top of each other. This one's on top of this one. This one's on top of that one. Okay. Alrighty. So next thing is that your rib cage is very wobbly, right? It's very flat and then goes straight back and then it goes wobbly. Okay. So what I want you to do, even though you know, this flatness is kind of cool, it would work if I mean, I would have to mess with it for a bit, but what I want you to do is add in another angle, right? So you should have, right after the abs, you should have another angle here and then have it go back. Okay. And then your serratus muscles are kind of going up this way. What I want you to do is I want you to bring them back in towards the ears, right? So I want to go back up into the throat, right? Okay. So next, what we want to do is Sparks just got a spicy bundle. Oh yeah, way to go, brother, way to go. You just invested well, because there's lots of stuff coming to that spicy bundle in the next 2 to 3 months. So you'll basically be getting my entire course in that bundle, and you just paid not very much for it. So good job on you, brother. Good job on you. Alrighty. So here what we're doing is bisecting this. Tenant Slug, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, for anyone that got the spicy bundle before, the nose tutorial's already in there. So you can start watching that whenever you want. Okay. Alrighty, so what we want to do is kind of even this out. You do have it going into the elbow, which is really, really nice. Okay. We want this egg here on the side. Okay. And then we want the tail of this lateral head going around the elbow, not to the corner of the elbow, but around the elbow. Okay. Almost going on our ulna, wrapping around our ulna. Okay. And then this third head, you have it right. It's just you weren't, it was wiggling, right? But you want a little bit more cylindrical here. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So next thing is that your bicep is just one muscle, and we need to separate it into two because it's two muscles. It's a bicep. And then you have the brachialis underneath it. So that's what we need to kind of illustrate here. So first thing I like to do is I like to get a very flat plane for the front of my bicep. You know, considering where the pit of your arm is, I'm just going to assume you want it there. And we want it nice flat so I can get my trim dynamic if I really want to block this out and really get this flat plane here. Okay. Next thing is we want to kind of end the bicep before it gets to before it gets into the pit of the forearm here. Okay. And I also want it to not be the entire width of the arm. Okay. So here I am just separating this bicep and making sure it's not the entire width of the arm. Okay. So we're going to smooth this out. If you don't know, you can go to Lightbox, brush, smooth stronger. And that way you're not sitting here all night smoothing things out on a Dynamesh. Really, really useful. Okay. All right, so we need to get our brachialis in here. So that's going to come from the end of our lateral head of our deltoid. Okay. And then we're going to come this way. So your brachialis is going directly into the pit of your arm here. And we just need enough room for that to happen, which is the reason that we didn't let the bicep take up so much space, right? And you can see how it's getting thinner here and wider there. We want to actually reverse that. And bring this in, and we want to widen it here, at least for this body type, right? And right there. Okay, so now what we can do is work on the inside of the arm. Again, the brachialis is going to come over and then it's going to go into the pit of the arm, of the forearm. You're going to have the coracoid brachialis here. You're going to have the bicep right there. Okay, so we're going to bring this in here. We're going to have that little tendon. We're going to have the brachialis kind of go over a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to have the bicep dive down there. Okay, so we have the brachialis here. We have the tricep here. So in between all of that is a brachial radialis. Okay, so we got that. And that's going to come around into here, into the hand. So your hand, you're missing a lot right here. Okay, you can see how it's going in towards the arm. So I would actually get the move brush and move this out a little bit more. Right, so you can get that styloid process of the radius. Okay, so right around here we're gonna have a nice dip right there, and then we're going to have all of our extensor muscles come out from there and then go down the back of our palm. Okay, so right about there. Comics Legend, what's going on? Hanzo, what's the link for bundle? What's the link for the spice bundle? That is it's at my store right here. Okay, so now we've got all of our extensor muscles here, and I'm just gonna block this out a bit more, give a little bit more of a dome here on the top, and then let that go over. Okay, so boom, 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 right there. Okay, your aconius muscle is looking pretty good. It needs to come from this little section right here. So you're gonna have that little epicondyle right there, and this is all going to come off of there. Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, and then your brachialis right here is just coming over too much, right? What we need to do is have a nice gradual bit here and have this attached to the side of the wrist. Okay, so next is we have this epicondyle right here that we connected the third head of the tricep to, and this is where all of your flexors are going to come from, right? So they're going to go down the inside of your wrist, but they're all going to originate from here. Okay, so hopefully you can see how all these things start connecting, and that's the reason I'm always stressing bony landmarks. All right, and then here from that same place, we want to get the pronator teres, which allows us to flip our hand over, right? To pronate our hand, pronate teres. Okay, and so yeah, and then the flexors right there. And so that's what I would do to kind of fix those arms. What's up, Space Cookie? Okay, and then here your rib cage doesn't do this. It comes from here. Okay, and it has a 90 degrees. So from here it should be a 90-degree angle. Go down and around. Okay, and whenever we go here, right off of the bottom of the scapula, what I want to do is I want to bring this into that rib cage. Okay, reason being is that all of these little fingers that you've got here are originating from the scapula. Okay, and here what we're going to do is we're going to put in our Teres Major, because if we don't have our Teres Major, we don't have basically the pec for the back, right? So we got to make sure that this is here. And then the serratus muscles, and those are gonna come down 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, right there. Okay, and then you want your lat to kind of touch all those. Okay, and then here what you want is a spear of aponeurosis. So this needs a little bit more space. And it needs to remind you of a spearhead whenever you sculpt it, right? The spearhead. Right? Your lats are going to originate from the base of your skull here. We're going to have, I don't want to call it a head, but we do have one connection going directly here. It's going all along the scapula, which is the reason we marked it in. And then it's coming all the way here and coming to the front and attaching to where our anterior head of our deltoid is, right? So right around here. I'm gonna shave that off near the bottom. It's a little bit too bulky. Okay, but you're gonna bring all this here, and then you're going to have this pocket right here, okay, where really nothing's going on here. You will have the a little break off here from the sternocleido, and then your sternocleido is going to the head of your clavicle when they need to be going to the head of your sternum. Okay, which is the reason I was separating and putting a little bit more space here. Okay, and then we want our hyoid bone, our cricoid, right here, and smooth it out just so we have some information there. Okay, and then right here we're gonna shave that sternocleido a bit off. Okay, so if you want these serratus muscles go to the nipple, so they actually need to be a little bit longer. Okay. And then you're going to put the obliques in here in between each one. Okay, and then here what we need is a flat plane, because that's what you're missing here. It's all just kind of rounding around. And so our obliques are beginning from 9, 10, 11, 12 right here. So we want to get a nice flat plane right here. And so you can see the lat going this way, and then your oblique should be coming out from inside that lat. Okay. All right, and next what we want to do is we can, so your trapezoids are just coming together like this. They do come together, but they're just a little bit too bulky as they're coming down, because by here it's going to be a very small tendon. So just shave off a little bit. Bring all this together, da 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 da. And then what you're missing down here, what you're kind of hinting at, is your upper lumbar, right? Which is going to originate from the base of your neck. It's going to come around and it's going to grab onto the last floating ribs. So 11 and 12 is where this is going to grab onto. Most of the meat is going to be down here, and then it's going to dissipate as it goes up the neck. Okay. And then you're going to have your spina erectus muscles here. Okay. And then ascius cracus. Okay. So I think that's enough information for you.